episode of Shoes Off Inside. I know it's been quite a while, Kelly.
I know. How long has it been?
A long
Me,
time.
I'm terrible with time. I have I that whatever that thing in your brain that like measures time, I don't have it.
You don't have it. I usually do, but you know what? It's been kind of a fog for me the last couple of months. So I think honestly, maybe the last episode was July.
When did your mom
July?
pass?
She passed in June.
Okay.
So
So it
maybe
was
the
right
last
after.
episode was July-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while. Okay, it's been a
Yeah.
while. Hi everyone, and as you can see, someone's missing, and that would be Tamlyn Tamita. But she has a very good reason why she's not here today. Today is Monday, November 3rd, and unless you've been living in a cave, the Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series. 2 years in a row,
Woohoo!
back to back, baby, back to back, right? Huge
Yes.
historics there. And I watched the whole series. It was fucking insane.
It was. I
was-
didn't watch a single moment.
Oh, I watched every game, even the game that went 18 innings.
18 innings. Was that the
18
last one?
No. That was
Oh.
game 4. I should know this, but anyway, there were obviously 7 games. It went to 7 games. Which
Wait
is
a
what
minute.
you
Okay,
want
so
in
I don't know
World
very
Series.
much about sports at all. Isn't it supposed to be only 9
9
innings?
Yes.
How many? Yeah. It
But-
went 18?
Okay, so
Double?
yes, you got 2 games in one, basically.
Isn't that wait?
I'll tell
How
you what,
late
okay.
did that go? How many? That's
Oh,
like
it was they played for like 6.5 hours. It was almost 7
Wow.
hours. It was almost a 7-hour game.
how long is an average game? I mean, baseball to me
3.5.
looks like it's so long anyway.
I know. Sometimes
3.5.
about 3.5
Wow.
hours.
So like double.
Right?
Those guys
Double.
must have been
Or
tired.
everyone was exhausted. I mean, I was exhausted and I wasn't playing. I was just watching. But the reason why I went 18 innings is that in baseball, if the game is tied, after 9 innings, you just keep going.
Oh.
You just keep
Oh,
going.
wow.
You play inning after inning after inning until somebody wins. So it's not
Oh,
even like
geez.
football. Football, you go into overtime, but like a
Right.
second overtime after that you're done. There's no more. You don't keep playing.
Wow.
But in baseball, you can go on forever. So it went 18 innings.
That's too much stress.
That's a lot.
Even
And
just to
then-
watch.
I know, but the last game 7 that was being played in Toronto, it went 11 innings.
Okay.
So this series had all the drama that you could ever wish for in sports.
That's
It
great.
it really, I'm not a huge baseball. I'm a huge sports fan, but
You
baseball is not my number one sport. I always watch it during the playoffs and World Series. But
Uh-huh.
this World Series, I mean, it had you on the edge of your seat at every moment. So
Oh,
Tamlyn Tamita, however, is the ultimate Dodger fan.
I know. She's got all kinds of like Japanese Dodger paraphernalia. Yeah.
Hats and shirts and everything,
All
right?
the cutesy stuff.
And her mama is a Dodgers fan, and her husband,
Her 80-something-year-old mom.
Yeah.
How cute is
Huge
that?
huge Dodgers fan. So
Does she wear the
all-
jerseys and everything?
yeah, she has a
Auntie?
little yukata, actually.
Oh,
That
a
is
little.
Dodger
Oh,
yukata. Yes. It's adorable. So
oh
Today-
my gosh.
today was the Dodgers parade through downtown LA.
Oh.
And then they had a big, party at Dodgers Stadium. So you had to get tickets for that. And of course, Tamlyn, her husband Daniel, and her mom, all 3 of them went to the Dodgers Stadium celebration.
Oh, that's so cute. I hope she wore her little yukata.
You did. Okay, so I asked Tamlyn, I go, can you please send me pictures while you're there, right? Here's her little mama in front of Dodger Stadium.
Oh my gosh, she's adorable.
Yep. And then there they are in front.
How
Daniel,
cute.
there's Daniel. And then they got some great seats. So she
I'm
sent me
sure.
this video.
Just a
Champion.
giant party.
Yeah, it was a giant party. So this was a huge day. It was a huge win, obviously. So she had to be there. So she sends her apologies for not
I
being
get
here
it.
today.
I get it.
But we totally get it. We totally get it.
Mhm.
So go Dodgers. It was repeat, and now they're saying let's go for three-peat. We'll see.
Wow.
We'll see. But here's the beauty of what happened with the Dodgers is that, I would have been okay if the Blue Jays won because it was Canada.
Why? Oh, because you
Because
like Canada?
no, I mean, I love Canada. I think they're great neighbors, but because of what's been happening lately,
Mm,
because of a certain somebody being very like cruel and unkind to our neighbors,
yeah.
I was kind of like, well, if Canada beat the US, I think it'd be in some ways kind of symbolic.
You know what's
Um,
interesting? I was at a comedy show last night to see my friend Helen Hong,
mhm,
and there was a room. The room it wasn't a very big room. There might have been maybe I don't know 70 people in the room,
okay.
and they were asking like where people were from, how many locals, where people. And the guy asked, "Anybody from Canada?" Not one person from Canada. And usually at this time of the year, we
No, they're
get
not coming.
so many Canadians.
They're not coming. They're
They're
boycotting.
not here.
No,
Isn't
no.
that interesting?
No, I just went to Greece recently, right?
Mhm.
A couple weeks ago, and I met, tourists from all over the place. And I met some Canadians,
Mhm.
and they were saying, please explain to us what's happening in the US. And they were so happy to meet me because they thought all Americans were kind of MAGA-ish, just to be blunt. They thought all
Do they
Americans.
not see the No Kings rally?
Right, exactly. So this was before the latest No Kings rally, which I
Okay.
went to, of course, but, she was saying, "Yeah, I'm so glad to be speaking to somebody like you
Mm,
because we just think that maybe more Americans are like, them." And I'm like, "No, no, no,
mm,
please understand that, there are a lot of us who also feel very strongly about what's going on, and we're not happy about it." So she's like, "Oh, thank God, because." What this has done to Canada, it has brought all of us together. It has
mm.
unified us, and we're
Common
boycotting.
enemy.
Yeah, she's like, "We're boycotting products. We're not coming to America as tourists anymore." And it
Yeah.
was sad to hear that,
You
but
see
I
it in
understood.
Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas for sure is feeling it.
Vegas is getting hit hard.
Yeah,
We're already down in tourism,
yeah.
and this boycott I think is really affecting us as
Yeah,
well.
everywhere, everywhere. I mean, they're saying that the Canadian tourists not coming into the US is really affecting a lot of places, a lot of tourism.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, so going back to the World Series, I was like, of course I'm rooting for the Dodgers, but in this case, I was thinking, well, I would be okay. Oh, I wore the sign on Game 7. I said,
But I would be okay if the Blue Jays won because,
I know. And I got so many comments because of that. People were like, "Yeah, totally, I'm right there with you," But
And you didn't even have to say it. People
I
were
didn't
like, "I
know.
know."
No, I wore my Dodgers cap, but then I had the sign on, and so I was pointing to the Dodgers cap, but then I was pointing to the sign, and people were like, "Oh, yeah, I know." But that's where we're at. I mean, it's a
Aw.
crazy time, right? So, I don't know. I think, you and I wanted to chat about some stuff, and I wanted to kind of be a little bit more open and vulnerable about how I'm feeling since my mother's passing. And,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
it's
only been a
it's
few months.
it's been a few months, but what I've really kind of learned through this experience versus the way my father passed, because that was, a terrible car accident. This is a slow burn, the loss of my mother. And so as time passes, it's almost like I feel the grief more.
Mhm.
I'm feeling the emptiness more now. And
Yeah.
I think that's part of why I'm feeling empty. I'm feeling a little bit less like sort of rudderless. Um, and it's also the combination of what's going on now, in
The
politics
climate.
and the
Mhm.
division and the climate, the heartbreak, when we see these videos of people getting illegally apprehended and beaten and, all of that stuff, right? Um, the SNAP benefits disappearing, right?
I
So people
know.
not getting their food and not being able to feed their
How
kids, and
scary.
it's scary, it's heartless, it's cruel, and so I think all of this is building up for me. I'm just taking it a little too hard in many ways. But I think also, and this is something that may surprise people, I don't know. Um, I feel like I'm not living up to what I should be at this stage of my life. And it's a funny thing for me to say that. I'm 59 years old and I've had a really awesome career,
Hmm.
right? But I feel like I'm not doing anything right now. And I'm not living up to whatever weird expectation I've placed on myself. But I wonder, is it because I'm Asian, because I'm type A, and I've always like pressured myself and I allowed like
Mm.
the Asianness pressure me and I do comparisons. And I mean, I don't know. It's just, I feel kind of overwhelmed by it. I do.
Yeah. I think this is a hard age for a lot of us. I mean, I'm going through something similar, but because I also have not been in front of the camera as an
For,
actor
yeah.
since the strike. What is that, two and a
Right.
half years ago?
Right. Right. And so, yeah,
And so
exactly. So
I've
are you
I've
feeling
been
like,
really lucky. Yeah, I've been really lucky that I've had a lot of voiceover work and I'm doing video games, things like that are
right.
keeping, my head above water, allowing me to qualify for my medical,
Yeah. Thank
which is
God.
thank God, because that what a double hit, right? You're not working
Oh,
and you're not qualifying for medical, and then all of a sudden you have to go and pay for medical on
a
top
lot
of
of people are
not getting
going through
paid.
that. A
A
lot of
lot
people.
of people, and I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe the climate in our industry, the film industry, combined with my age,
Yeah.
where there's just not as many opportunities for me, and then the opportunities that are coming about for me, the auditions that are coming about are crowded with other actors that would not normally audition for a smaller role like this.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting a lot of
Oh, look.
actors who have been the number one on the call sheet on a TV series,
Yeah.
the leads in TV series and huge films, A-list actors who are taking smaller roles because they just want to work
Yeah.
or they want to
Right.
make their medical.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I was talking to a friend who does a lot of like these super ultra low budget films, and she was telling me some of the people that they had cast, and people who were leads of TV series who are working for like $250-$300 a day just
Wow.
so they can make their medical because they have families.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's explain, because when it comes to Hollywood, you have to put in a certain number of hours,
Right, in the
to
Screen Actors
screen
Guild.
so that you can get
It's
medical
I
coverage.
think
If you
it's like
don't,
29,000 something, almost $30,000 in order to be able to qualify for
right.
medical,
Just either
or
hours
I think
or, yeah.
180 hours, I think is what it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've
because
never
a
had
lot,
to even look that up before.
right, right. No, no, but so many people are going through that now.
So many people.
So, we're up against a weird time. We're up against an economy that's like uncertain, even though I feel like the gap between the wealthy and the poor is just getting so huge. It's ridiculous.
It is.
And then as women, I think, again, as we age, we feel like we're aging out. But then
Mhm.
I think for me personally, I feel like I still feel like I have so much to offer and so much to do, and yet I'm feeling lost as to what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to do it. And I just feel like if I don't have a purpose, then what's the point? Um, and I don't know. I
I
can't
get
put a
that.
finger on it, but I do feel like there's a sense of, what am I doing? You
Mhm.
know, I need to do something that's meaningful. And but I think I'm also putting this false expectation and this false bar up here, because I look around and I hate to say this, but I'll admit it. I'll openly admit it. I look around and I see all these other women doing such amazing things and achieving so many things, and they have kids and they've raised kids and this, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm such a loser. I mean, that's the voice that's in my head sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
awful.
And
It's really
even
awful.
and the fact that you don't even have a parent to care for right now either.
That
Like,
is
because
also,
for
I think,
me right now, I'm like, well, I'm not working, but thank goodness at least I have time to be with my parents is my
yeah,
justification,
yeah.
right? I'm thinking, well, at least I get to spend more quality time. Like right after this, I'm packing up and I'm going to go see them and we're going to go cook the fish that I caught, for dinner tonight. Like, and so like my whole
Yeah.
focus now is my parents, but
Kelly, I'm
you don't even
so
have that
glad you said,
anymore.
no, I'm so glad you said that because I think that's also part of it. Because for a full year when my mother got sick, I was there for her. That was
Hmm.
pretty much my full-time thing,
Right.
and I wasn't working at the time because I had left, being a professor and all that to focus on her. And so now that she's gone,
Hmm.
and those duties are finished and
Hmm.
I'm not working, I feel like, what the fuck are you doing, May?
Yeah.
What is your purpose? And why can't you figure? I'm so hard on myself. I'm like, why can't you fucking figure it out? And this is
Yeah.
the voice. This is how I speak to myself. I'm like, why can't you fucking figure it out? And I don't know why I can't. I'm not sure. And I know when I speak to women, other women, around our age, um, they share with me the same feelings about like they feel like they're entering a different stage in their life where they're a little bit older,
Hmm.
um, but they're still trying to figure out what they're supposed to do next,
Right.
right? Something
Because we were talking
meaningful.
about our careers, how we kind of feel like we've peaked early,
We peaked
right?
early. We peaked early. You and I think, are really good examples of peaking early because our career started so much earlier than
Yeah.
maybe typically, right?
Right.
But you made a very good point about women, right?
Women, our careers end earlier,
Yeah,
especially people in front of the camera.
yeah,
You tend to have a shorter career, a shorter, life.
right.
And I just feel like I don't know that there's even a place for me in this industry anymore sometimes.
And
Sometimes I
how do you
wonder
feel
if
about that?
it's
How do you
done.
feel about that?
I've actually been looking into the idea of retiring and just concentrating on being with my parents and building this life here in Las Vegas. But I think to myself, I still need medical insurance. I I don't want to have to pay for my own medical insurance. I've never had to. I've never
Oh,
had
yeah,
to
yeah.
since
Okay, well, see,
as an adult.
I have
Yeah,
on and off depending on my job situation. But yeah, like right now, I've been paying my medical insurance for the last year,
that's so
since I left
scary.
since I left my university.
Right. And the older we are, the more we
Wait,
need it.
okay, here's the thing though, and this is very timely, and we don't need to get deep into the weeds about this, but Obamacare,
Hmm.
Affordable Care Act, is what helps people be able to afford insurance if especially when they have to pay it on their own.
Right.
But now that's at stake. Of course, that's one of the reasons why the government is shut down right now because the Republicans and Democrats cannot agree on a budget that includes the ACA. The Republicans don't want it, the Democrats do. So it's going to change the equation for a lot of people, including me. I actually did open up my ACA to see like what my insurance will be next year. It's going to go up by at least 50%. My premium.
50%.
Yeah, but that's not even bad. That's not even
That's
bad.
not?
Some people's premiums are going to go up by 100 to 200%.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And these are
Yeah.
people who already can't afford medical
Yeah.
insurance, right?
Either they can't afford it or they certainly can't afford, if there wasn't the supplemental assistance from the
Uh-huh.
ACA, right?
See,
That
I
was
don't know
the
how
whole
any of
point.
this works.
Yeah. The whole point of Obamacare was that it's supplementing the cost of insurance, right?
Right.
So they calculate it for you. When you open it up, they show you what it would cost if there was no supplemental care. And it's like hundreds of dollars more. And then because of ACA, it's supplementing the cost. So it's going to affect so many people
Yeah.
if the ACA does not, if that's pulled.
I don't know how
Um,
people do it.
they're not going to be able to. That's the problem. That's the fear, right? So there's so much uncertainty right now about so many things. I feel very fortunate that I can, take care of it. It's all right. I'm just going to deal with it, whatever. But I think it's just going back to what we were talking about. It's just like, I think it's all of this combined, all of the uncertainty, all the, the sadness and the grief and all of that. And then the aging, as women,
Mm-hmm.
it sucks that we have to even say that, Kelly, because here we are, we're 59. How old are you now? 57?
57.
57. And
Mm-hmm.
Tamlyn's 60, I
Mm-hmm.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
We all look amazing. We're vibrant still. We're like fun. We're interesting. We still have so much to offer. And here we are sitting here saying, do I have any more to,
Our careers are over.
does the
Yeah.
world need me anymore? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
that's a really big, like almost like existential, crisis.
And I imagine even women who have children, right? Who have
Yeah.
raised families. At this point, your kids are probably out of the house too.
Yes. And
So
I think
you're,
women do go through that.
I'm
Mothers
sure
do go
that a
through
lot of women are still going through the same thing around our
that. Right.
age,
That's right.
you
Like
know?
what now? What now? My
Yeah.
kids are all grown up. I've done that job, but like now what? Now
Hmm.
what? Right. And we all feel like, but we still have so much that we would like to do. Like we want to contribute,
I mean, we're wiser than we've ever been.
and we're healthier than we've ever been. We're at 50. I'm not a 59 back when I was growing up was like ancient,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
It's like one foot in the grave, but now it's a very different situation. And I think that
Hmm.
also adds to maybe the pressure of like, I'm only 59, right? That kind of almost like that kind of attitude.
We're
Why am
barely halfway there.
why am I not doing more? Right. It's just like you're talking about retirement. And believe me, I've thought about that too. And I'm like, maybe I just hang it up, man. Maybe it is time for me to just retire and ride off into the sunset, but it doesn't feel right to me. That doesn't feel
No.
right. Yeah.
And I feel like right now, especially in your line of work, journalism,
Oh my
I
God.
feel like right now is even more important for you to be there, reporting on what's going on.
Well, yes, no, 100% I agree with you, but you do see what's happening to legacy media, at least, right? The total
Yes.
destruction of all the networks. You see what just happened at CBS, right? They let go of all these people. Barry Weiss, the new, editor, has come in and just wiping everything out, changing the whole equation. NBC, same thing. ABC, all of them, right? It's all changing. My industry has changed so dramatically, it's unrecognizable. So yes, that's why independent media, independent journalism is,
Hmm.
expanding.
Yeah.
But
My industry as well.
yeah.
The film
Oh yeah.
industry has also gone through so many changes
Yeah.
that it's just not the same.
So yeah, I think we're just shooting the shit about this because it's not like we have answers. I certainly don't. I don't, and I'm trying to figure it out. But I think
Hmm.
sometimes there are some days where maybe I have low grade depression. I don't know. I just feel like I have no inspiration, no motivation, no vision,
Well,
and
you
that
did just
scares
lose a
me.
parent. That's
Yeah,
huge.
I know, and it's a mother. Like we said in our last episode a couple months ago, I think losing a mother, especially an Asian mother, who's such a big presence in your life, right? I think I said this last time. They take up a lot of space in
Tell me
good ways,
about it.
bad ways, right? Yeah. And so once that's gone, I think that's the slow burn for me. I think
Yeah.
I'm finally feeling that absence, that it is permanent. It's
Yes.
permanent.
Yeah. I remember when it really felt the so true and real for me was when I forget exactly what happened. Something great happened and I wanted to call my dad. And I was like, "Oh, he's gone."
Yep.
That makes
I
me
keep,
want to cry even now.
yep. I keep doing that. I
Do
keep doing
you?
that. Yep. Yep. I'm like, oh, I got to tell my mom what, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's such a hollow feeling. And so that's why I think even you get emotional now, right?
Yeah.
Years
My
later.
yeah, my dad's been gone for 22 years now. But
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
still it's
I
still
know.
there.
Family, parents, no matter what your relationship was, it's still, yeah, it's a profound loss. It's a profound
Hmm.
loss. So yeah, so I think it's a lot of stuff going on right now for all of us, But I just wanted to share that because I am going through something. And
And
I can't
also
blame it
for
on
us,
menopause because I've already gone
I
through
was
menopause.
just gonna say, like for us who've gone through menopause, we're postmenopausal at this point. We're on our hormones,
Yes,
but
totally. We're both on hormones.
I'm not sure that I've had enough. I mean,
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking
yeah.
maybe I need to increase my dosages or something.
I definitely think I need to. I mean, until I start growing a beard, I'm going to just keep increasing that testosterone.
Oh, so
Like,
you're taking testosterone. I don't take testosterone.
oh yeah, I just started taking testosterone, and you know what's so funny? I went to Burning Man, and I have like Asian armpits. I've never had to worry about like shaving under
Yeah,
my arms.
right.
I've
Me
never
neither.
had a lot of hair under my arms.
Yeah.
And I started taking testosterone a few months before going to Burning Man. And then I came back from Burning Man and I looked at my armpits and I was like, my right armpit had a bunch of underarm hair that I never had that much under. I had two on this side, and like, and I was like, "Wait, did I just go through the whole 2 weeks at Burning Man with underarm
A
hair under
hairy
only
armpit?
one arm?"
Oh my God. Like
I mean,
noticeable? Like
I
noticeable.
noticed it. It was like an inch long.
Oh,
But I mean, it was thin because it was like just growing. Like I'm not the kind of person that ever had underarm hair. It was never
is
a
that from the
thing.
testosterone?
I think it was from the testosterone.
Oh,
But
oh,
nowadays these girls are not shaving their armpits anyway.
which I'm
So maybe
sorry.
they
I
thut that
can't.
I was just like part of that camp, but only
No,
one side.
can't.
Like what the
No,
hell?
nope, not in that camp of the
Yeah.
au natural. All these young girls. No, sorry. No,
Right?
sorry.
The bush is
Yeah.
back.
Nope.
That 70s
No.
bush is apparently back. I'm like, too
I
late for
know.
me.
Well, so Burning Man for you is, I think I didn't coin the term, but I'm using it a lot. I'm trying to practice this idea of radical joy,
Oh, I
right?
love it.
It's not just joy, it's radical joy. And the reason why I use that term is because of all the darkness, because of all the sadness around us, we can't just be joyful. We have to be radical about our joy,
Yeah.
meaning even beyond intentional. It's like an aggressive pursuit of joy. And so
Hmm.
that's what I'm trying to do every day. Clearly, what I just shared, it's not that obvious, right? Since I'm talking about being so sad, but it is something that I'm really trying to do. So for you, it's going to Burning Man. For me, I decided to go to Greece I planned this trip like in a week. And that brought me incredible radical joy. So I think that is important for all of us to try to find moments, even small moments of joy every
I mean,
day.
we're so lucky that we're in a position in our lives that we can do that.
Correct.
We can just take off and go to Burning Man. We can
That's
take
right.
off and go to
That's right.
Greece.
And not
You
everyone
know,
can. No, for sure. For sure.
but
So I,
where I do find the most joy is through my girlfriends
oh, definitely.
and
Yep.
gay friends. And gay friends. I don't want to leave those guys out. So I'm actually planning a trip with the girls and gays. Yeah, we're going to
aren't you going
Korea.
to Korea like soon?
Yes. Japan
Yes.
and Korea.
Oh, Japan and
We're
Korea.
all
Okay.
going on a trip, and
Oh, I wish I could
we're gonna
join
get face
you.
treatments
I
and
was just gonna
skin, and I'm
say,
gonna come back looking 20 years younger.
okay, load up on the Korean products, go to Olive Young.
That's what I plan to do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they have shit that like we haven't even heard of here. I only use Korean products.
Oh, good for
I only
you.
use
Okay.
everything. Yeah. So you'll
I
love it.
do plan to bring back a suitcase full
You
of
should,
Korean products. I
and it's
mean,
all
I'm
affordable.
going with one suitcase and coming back with two.
Okay, so we actually do have a guest on today's show, believe it or
Hmm.
not. We missed Breast Cancer Awareness Month by a few days. It's October, of course, when
We
we
went through the whole month.
went through the whole month. Hey, better late than never. But Kelly
Yes.
thought, she just got this breast scan. It's an ultrasound, but it's a very interesting new technology, newish.
Mm.
And she went up to San Francisco to do this, right? At Eve
Hmm.
Wellness. And so you
Yes.
said, hey, why don't we interview this guy who started this clinic because it's so interesting, right?
Yeah. We really have to take control of our own bodies.
Yeah.
And and not wait for permission from insurance and doctors to tell us what we can and cannot do.
Yeah, exactly. So we decided to invite the president and co-founder of Eve Wellness. So this is a clinic up in San Francisco, only one right now for the time being. However, they use this new way to screen for breast cancer. It's ultrasound, but it's not like the handheld kind, the old-fashioned kind. This is an actual scanning machine that takes images of your breasts, like from multiple angles, something like 2,000 images.
Yeah.
Right? Versus I just got a mammogram yesterday and they took 8 images, right? And then
And you got radiation.
And radiation, exactly. And mammograms don't catch everything, right? Especially for women with dense breasts, which most Asian women have very dense breasts.
80%.
80%. Yeah. So a lot is missed. So anyway, so this is a new type of screening that is much more foolproof, less dangerous, obviously, because it uses no radiation. And you know, it's just a fascinating way that they're checking for breast cancer. So Kelly did it, and now we are going to speak to Brendan Foley. So here's that interview. So Brendan, I know that you are the founder, as we said, the founder and the president of Eve Wellness. And you started this not too long ago. The backstory being that I guess you've had to deal with breast cancer and people getting ill and in your family and friends and all of that. So it kind of inspired you to do this. Can you tell us that backstory?
You know, I go back probably 30 years of doing breast imaging work indirectly, as my father was a part of a team of about 7 to 10 people. And this is where Kelly's introduction came through, as some of these people, these innovators that were developing early stage imaging products that moved us first initially away from mammography, film-based mammography, to digital mammography. And that kind of enabled, and a really beautiful thing that happened in that evolution was film-based mammography reduction to digital mammography reduced the radiation exposure by 100-fold. So 1992, they started, I remember them vividly in the living room, typical Palo Alto, California, Silicon Valley startup. There were 6 people in a living room writing a business plan in 1992 to shift us away from what we were doing in the film-based world. And again, just the evolution of a product that's been around for many, many years. I think the mammogram can almost say it's been dated back to like the 1913s and 1920s.
Oh, wow.
Some sort of imaging. I remember pulling a stat on that many times and just being like, wait a second, we need to innovate on this space. I came back with the second evolution of what this group put together was this ultrasound product. Because what I started realizing, listening to my father, was ultrasound was by far the better way to be doing the screening based on the density and where that is just being missed in a standard imaging product with the mammography. So, you know, there was kind of that brain idea for me to think back, like, wow, how can I make this product more accessible? This same group of people developed this machine we used. It's called the GEA bus, and that was FDA approved in 2012. So the idea was, again, it's like, wait a second, this is sitting in hospitals. Why can't everyday women just have access to this without questions being asked?
So Brendan, just quickly, ultrasound, using ultrasound to check for breast cancer is not a new thing. It's been around for a while, hasn't it? Because I was just telling Kelly before we started recording, I got an ultrasound on my breasts in Thailand 15 plus years ago when I was living in Asia, right?
Yeah.
Because I went to this hospital in Bangkok that was like state of the art. It was brand new hospital. They had high tech everything. And so we went on a girls trip, and I remember reading they did ultrasound mammographies at this hospital. So I said, oh, I'll try it. So I was familiar with this, but then of course you come back to the US and, you know, that's either not available or it's not covered by insurance. Right.
Correct.
So
I think that's the biggest problem, is that we're all, slaves to our insurance, right? And even when I got my last mammogram and I said, look, I already know that I have dense breast tissue. I want to get an ultrasound. They're like, oh, well, we can't prescribe that. It has to be prescribed by the person who's doing your mammogram. And I said, well, I already know that I have dense breast tissue and I need to get this done. And she's like, well, we'll have to wait for your results. And so
why,
I got,
so why so many hurdles?
I
Brendan?
don't know.
Why so many hurdles, Brendan? I mean, let's start with that, because if it's a better way of doing mammographies and
Without the radiation.
yeah, and the success rate is higher in terms of detection, what's the resistance here?
Yeah, so I think you have to date back to what has been, and Kelly mentioned it perfectly right, the insurance. What goes back to what was reimbursed? So in 1998, we provided full reimbursement for mammograms, and that was signed under the Clinton administration. And that provided every woman of screening eligibility. At this point, it was 50 and above.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just recently did we say, let's move it down to like 40 because the average age of death is at 48. So somebody was like, oh, geez, wow, we're not screening where the average age is. That's a problem. We need to shift it to 40. So mammography has been that standard of care for doing the screening since 98, giving reimbursement. You provide a great point to talk about ultrasounds. Yeah, women that we see in our clinic from European countries always are like, I do ultrasounds all the time. It's mostly Russian women and Ukrainian women and kind of the Eastern Bloc definitely are saying like, I do ultrasounds all the time. And also a lot of the Asian women that are coming in from like, Singapore, places like that, they're always like, or Korea also, that comes to mind a lot. A lot of Koreans are like, we always do ultrasounds. It seems so standard of care. So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just going to say in Sweden, didn't they just outlaw or they just banned mammography altogether now? It's all ultrasound now. I just saw something on Instagram where I get all my news. But yeah, and this was just like a month ago, I think, that I saw this and I was like, okay, they're not even doing any mammograms anymore because this is so much more accurate. Right?
There's just, I think there's a lot to be said about what the mammogram is providing and what it can really miss on. And I think that's what really the ultrasound kind of mindseted people are very focused on. The ultrasound could really see through the dense tissue. And look, every woman has dense tissue, and
Asian women especially.
Huger population of women the Asian have higher density, but it's also like what category of density? There's 4 categories of density. It's A, B, C, or D. Mm-hmm. Now, May, you mentioned like, well, ultrasounds are pretty common. Absolutely. And even here in our clinics in the US, if women are in a certain classification, and this is all dependent on the radiologist at the hospital, there's zero standard guidance across the board. And that's a whole other topic we can even dive into today. It's like, what is the right messaging back to the patients?
Wow.
Because I got a patient that sent me 3 different messages from her mammo report that would be so confusing to try to understand. Mm-hmm. Like one saying, do it every 2 years, one saying you're not dense, and the other saying density has issues, go check it out. It's like,
wow.
And she knows so much about our product. She's like, wait a second, that doesn't seem right.
Huh.
But when a doctor is saying like, hey, you're dense tissue, you're category D, they might immediately move you to an ultrasound, to do a diagnostic, a handheld ultrasound, which is different than the ultrasound we use. And there's 2 different products. There's diagnostic screening and then there's screening. So we fall into the category of providing screening, and that is right on par with mammography, MRI, and ultrasound. This product we use was the only one approved for screening as a supplemental screening, as the FDA deemed it. But that is a screening ultrasound, very different than a diagnostic, which you're really trying to diagnose something now once you've identified that area.
Right.
That is still very kind of common in practice for some women. But it gets back to, it's not going to be reimbursed. The radiologist might not think you're dense enough to do further workup. And eventually I think if things were reversed like 30 years ago and this product was in the market, I do have a feeling that this would be reimbursed first. via the mammogram being second.
Yeah.
Because there is still, I think a little bit of data to say there is some value in the mammogram. But where we're seeing the cases mostly are missed in the headlines is I did my mammogram, it missed my cancer. Now I'm stage 3 or stage 4.
So your machine is an actual scanner, right? Like you said, the sort of traditional ultrasounds are the handheld. Like probably a lot of us have had ultrasounds for whatever reason, right? But this is an actual machine that is almost like it sort of takes the entire image through the machine, right?
Without all the smashing and
No smashing.
manipulating.
No smashing. Okay,
none of
by
that.
By the way, this was not planned, but Brendan, I just had my mammogram yesterday. So, yeah, there's different.
How are you feeling?
I know, exactly. There's different levels of smashing. This particular person did not smash my boobies as much, so I was grateful. But anyway, but yeah, so this machine is super accurate because it takes how many
Thousands.
images? Yeah.
2,000. So yeah,
2,000 images.
2,000 images.
8. Like I got 8 images yesterday.
Yeah. And there you go. And so one of the things that, this machine is, it is like a square head that really just kind of applies right onto the breast tissue. In the area, we take 4 images on each breast. In the first one, we really get deep into the armpit area, which is very important because we want to get into the lymph nodes.
Right.
And so we can imagine what the machine does is when our technicians are with our patients, they're just place it in one place and you position it here, you position it there. Next thing, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. So it takes all those images and layers on top of it. So when you're looking at it from the doctor's point of view, you're looking down on the breast from the coronal view. So you can really see the whole 3 dimensions of the breast tissue, of the breast. And we can then go deeper down to the chest wall because ultrasound, it's like, submarines used it to go through, the oceans. It sees through everything.
Right,
So it's scanning all these little slices are taking as you're laying down on your back, as Kelly mentioned, it just glides across. And as one of our technicians said, it's like a jade roller on your face. It's just it's just a nice way. You're just massaging yourself. You got the music.
It is completely
going,
different. It's like a spa. It's like going in for a spa treatment. You get the warm robe, and it really is set up to feel like you're at a spa.
We realized, and that was the vision of opening this clinic. I knew the technology. I knew so much that it could provide such better answers and more accurate answers for our patients. And what always seems to be some barriers, because there's some very alarming stats about women that don't even get screened. 60% of women that are eligible to get screened don't screen on an annual basis. What I think some of the barriers is one, they've had a uncomfortable experience with a potential screening in the past. And we have patients all the time like, I never want to kind of go back ever again. 2, it's the convenience. And, by putting a clinic where you are doing your day-to-day fun things in life, it doesn't become more of a burden to drive across town to go to like a major hospital clinic. Don't make this inconvenient for women. Make it convenient. So for our clinics, you don't need much square footage because we're not putting professional shielding over the radiation. It's ultrasound. The machine runs on 110. I can wheel it in, wheel it out.
Wow. Okay.
So it's very portable.
So you guys have only one location in San Francisco at the moment, right?
Right. Yeah. We opened with the idea, my co-founder and I, we wanted to put together, an idea that would this work? Can we provide like our proof of concept? And we opened the clinic in October of 22. So this is our 3rd breast cancer awareness month we just completed. And, it was with the idea of like, is this something that we could, 1, patients would come in, and 2, is this something then if we saw that success, what's next? And then that's the what's next. Where we're at with Eve right now is going to continue to open more of these clinics across the country.
And the great thing is you don't need a prescription. You don't need a doctor's referral or anything. You can just walk in. Anyone can just walk in, And what is the price to get
So
ultrasound done?
yeah, that's important too. It's $350 is our flat fee. There is no added extra, and we haven't even touched on the AI component that we use too.
Yeah, that's what I want to get into.
Yeah.
But Brendan,
So,
I mean, $350. When I saw the price, I was like, "Wow, I can't believe it's just $350." Now, $350 is a lot of money for a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. Okay, so I'm not going to dismiss that as like, oh, only $350. But when it comes to any kind of medical procedure, you always assume, oh my God, it's going to be like $1,000 or something. So I'm a little surprised. How are you able to keep it at a pretty reasonable price for a treatment like that, or an appointment?
Yeah, well, I think it was also trying to find what was fair in the market, and for kind of looking at where reimbursement has been for some ultrasounds, this is far better, cheaper. We also have a lot of patients that come in that use this instead of doing MRIs, which could be in the thousands of dollars for that. But it was also like, understanding the scale of, how the business on the operation side of it, the machines are definitely the things that cost you the most. But then once you kind of factor out square footage and a lot of those other things, we felt like $350 is something, again, we can provide without being such a burden on patients.
Yeah. Brendan, let's quickly tell us about the AI component of this new method, because I find that fascinating, because it uses a tool to really help in the diagnoses, right? And the scanning process and figuring out what's going on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The AI is very important that we use, and it's an AI that has been FDA approved in 2016 from a company called QView Medical. And the AI for that was, probably now currently trained against probably like 200 million images. And what that does is helps our doctor read those 2,000 images. But the idea was, you're reading 2,000 images and you're good at what you do, but it's always really nice to have a buddy to help you with your homework. Yeah. And the way this is kind of is like your best friend helping you with some problems, kind of going through the 2,000 images. Our doctor's been using it. I think his quote he wrote recently was in a TV interview was, the AI hasn't missed anything in the last 3 years that he hasn't been able to see. So, the power of the AI, it's been able to pick up, things, and what it'll do is circle an area for the doctor to review. It's already done the scan before our doctor reviews that information. But again, so important to have a second reader or somebody else taking a look at that. Yeah. And what I know from the industry is when doctors or radiologists are reading mammograms, they're reading things in about 30 seconds. So the amount of attention you two are getting to your mammogram is about 30 seconds.
Wow. That's
they're making a quick decision. They're like, dense tissue. Send her the dense tissue letter. Send her the dense tissue letter.
I got the dense tissue letter, but then no other recommendation to get an ultrasound. So I was like, why even bother?
And Kelly, that's what you mentioned earlier. It's like you couldn't get the ultrasound because the radiologist is the one who was like holding the keys to you getting the access.
Hey, Brendan, before we let you go, can you just share at least just one story of someone who got your screening and, found something and saved your life or anything like that? I'm sure you have more than one story, but
this one hits me the most, and she's a Dodger fan, so your co-host would love meeting her.
We miss you, Tam.
Yeah. So Jenna Williams came into our clinic, and she felt a little bit of a lump. Didn't know exactly. We were probably year one. Didn't know exactly what we were about. She came in, screened. She was under 40. She was 38 at the time. She's a mother of two. And she felt a lump in the shower. So she did her self-exams, which I highly encourage women to do. Do your self-exams. You're in the shower. It's just a great opportunity to kind of get comfortable and know what your body feels like. If you notice lumps or bumps or anything, and men too that are listening, please just examine yourself sometimes. So she felt that lump and she came in, and our doctor called her about 4 hours later and said, look, we need to start working on this. This is important. And she had a biopsy. A diagnostic is the next steps. Once we identify something, we'll send our patients on to the local clinics. And she got her in there. She did her biopsy and found out it was stage 3.
Oh, wow.
And she's done imaging before in the past and it missed. And she did a double mastectomy a month later. And I can report now, 2 years, she is cancer-free.
Wow.
And I saw her probably that Thanksgiving of that first year. She went home to her husband's family back in Tennessee or something like that. And she tells me the story. It was right after Thanksgiving. I was just walking on a Saturday night, wandering my neighborhood in the Cow Hollow Marina District. And she saw me and she's like, hey, I got to tell you this story. At dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, we went around the table to say what we're thankful for. And I just said, Brendan Foley. And I was just like, and that was probably the first, patient that, you see full circle moment come around. And she's been a great advocate for us. But it was that moment where that hug felt the best in the world.
Yeah.
And you just feel like, that's why I wake up in the morning to kind of provide this care. And we've seen 4,000 patients. We've identified 25 cancers. 12 of those women have been under 40. So the real opportunity is, how do we provide early detection? How do we provide a scenario that is so comfortable, built for women to really feel comfortable and feel that they can come in, they can get their results so fast.
Yeah.
And then also feel empowered that they can really be in charge of themselves. We use a couple slogans all the time. Be the CEO of your own health. We have to do that.
That's
and
a good
on our door, it says Eve, and it says find it before you feel it. And the whole idea is that let's just providing preventative care can mean so much and make such a difference. So like Jenna and the other women that we've been able to help, that's the true blessings that are given back to what we're doing.
What incredible purpose you have, Brendan, and you are making a difference. So thank you so much for sharing that story. It's powerful.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and the work that you're doing is amazing. So, and maybe I'll come up and visit you guys up there in San Francisco.
We'll go.
We will always save you a spot.
All right, thanks so much.
There should be clinics like these all over the United States.
Well, it's like what I said before. It's just like, clinics like this, sure, but the standards should be changed overall. When it comes to breast cancer, breast screening, if mammography is not cutting it, then we should find a better way, right? So the resistance, though, from our, the medical industry and all of that, that's the problem. So the more we talk about things like this, look, we should make progress in everything. So especially including healthcare and, cancer. So like, if there's something better, why wouldn't we want to use it?
Right? Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, we're slaves to our insurance companies, you know?
We are.
And that's the problem.
And we're slaves to just sort of tradition and standards that have been around for decades, right?
Yeah.
And so people don't want to change if they don't have to. If they're not forced to change, they're not going to change, right?
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
But it was great to hear about this new technology. And maybe I'll pop up there to San Francisco at some point and get
girls trip.
I know, girls trip. Yeah, little booby screening. I love that we can be so open about everything. At this stage of our lives, even if it's not so pretty and if it's not, all roses and wonderful things. Look, I think people assume that, especially you being an actress and me having been a successful journalist, they think our lives are hunky dory all the time. And
mine kind of is mostly.
Oh, shut up. Okay, fine. All right, I'll just speak for myself then.
No, my work has definitely been, cut down. I have not worked much at all in the last 2.5 years.
But here's the thing, Kelly,
I'm finding joy.
Yeah, it seems like you're okay because it's not defining you.
It's not. And also, like I said, I still have my parents around. I'm
Yeah.
still, I'm trying, I'm still at this point where I'm trying to make time to spend with them and make
Yeah.
sure that, you know, my purpose for moving here was to spend more time with them.
It was.
And I
And
really want to do more of that.
yeah.
But I have such an active social life that, apart from work, that
too.
I do. I was just a jellyfish for Halloween,
Oh, your
and I went to
costume
3
was
Halloween
freaking
parties.
awesome. Your
I mean,
costume was
thank
amazing.
you. But, you
Yeah.
know, making that costume was so much fun and creative, and it was like a creative outlet for me. You know,
I
if I
can't
don't
believe you
have
made
this
that.
acting stuff, I got to have this some kind of creative
Yeah.
outlet or I go
No, that's
crazy.
good. That's good. And I think that's what it is. I think we're both creative. We're both still have a lot of energy. We still want to do something that is purposeful. And I think that's where I'm trying to figure that out. Right.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, I could be somebody who says, no, I've done a lot. I've done a lot in my life. So yeah, maybe it's time to just settle down and again, ride off into the sunset. But I don't feel that way
Well,
yet.
you have to give yourself grace. I mean, your mom only passed a few months ago.
Yeah.
You are still in this grieving period, whether you think or not. I mean, I know
Oh, I
you
know
know
I am.
you're in there for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're in the midst of it. I think this is probably the worst part of it, the most empty feeling, you know, because when right after it happens, there's a frenzy, right? And
Yes,
everybody's
it's
around
true.
you. And now that the dust has settled, you're in that emptiness.
Yeah, and
So, you
I think
know,
it's also because, like, if I had kids or if I had another parent to take care of or, you
or
know,
if your
if I
career was
was
at full blast,
yeah,
you
if
would
I
be
was
concentrating
still
on
running
that.
around exactly, if I was still running around the
Exactly.
world covering stories, it would, like, be a distraction. It would be a
Yeah.
distraction. I think right now I don't have a distraction from my grief, and I don't have a distraction from what's going on in the world.
I understand where you're at.
Yeah.
But that's where friends, I think, come in handy.
100%. Yeah,
Call
and
me.
community. Yeah, I know. I know. I wish I could go to Korea with you. That'd
You
be
can.
fun. I could. Oh, but I just got back and my fur babies would not be happy if I left again. So next
Oh,
time, have a lot of radical joy.
I will
Yeah.
for
Okay.
sure.
All right, Tamlyn, we miss you. Go
Bye,
Dodgers. I know,
sis.
yeah, I know you're going to be celebrating for weeks on end. So, all right,
Yes.
until next time, everyone, please follow us on social media and let us know what you think. Okay. Bye.
Bye.